Hey everyone, it's Leela here. Just wanted to post an update, studio update as to what pieces I've completed. And I was thinking, it's been quite a long time since I've made any sort of progress video. And I've just been busy, and often I just forget to make a progress video simply because it's just not something I'm, thinking about on a regular basis, but I have been fairly busy in my studio. I've managed to get quite a lot done, and you know, every year I look back on the amount of customs I've created, and you know, I I've got to say this year I've really been diligent about getting down here a lot and taking time out for me during my, you know, everyday life just to, paint and take some time just to be in my studio, even if it's just, messing around and just, even if it's just doing something other than customizing model horses like watercolor painting or drawing, what have you. But I got this little girl done. Really proud of the way that she came out. She is on the Breyer Polo Pony mold, and I had a lot of fun with her. I started initially with her with pastels, and then I switched over to painting over the pastels with acrylics, because the pastel, especially the white, every time I'd spray it was just getting a little dark. And anyone who knows from working with pastels knows that sometimes lighter colors can be darker once you've sealed them in. So yeah, there's another look at her. She's got a little blue eye there, little bands in her tail. Her tail is braided. That's why it's kind of like a little stick. And then then I've been working on this girl. She is a little bay roan. She's still got some rough patches I gotta work through. I'm thinking I'm gonna turn these kind of white chunks into corn marks, which are like little, which are scarring on roans. And then she's got a badger face with two blue eyes. Sorry if my camera will focus. And some spotting on her nose. And yeah, had a lot of fun with her. She's still kind of a work in progress, WIP, but she will be completed very quickly. Then these guys I completed kind of earlier in the fall. I have some metallic acrylic paint, and I knew I just didn't want to do like a regular horse color on these guys. I have two of them. And I was like, wow, they're unicorns. And I really like the walking thoroughbred body and the Alboroso body. But I just didn't want to take the time to chop off the horns and then sand down the rough patch to make them into a regular horse. So I was like, I'm going to do fantasy creatures. And I'm so glad that I did, because I had a lot of fun with these guys. And keeping on with that theme, I've got kind of a little fall Icelandic mare going on. So I've got some little trees there, a little sunflower. You can't really see it, but it's like a little pumpkin. Little kind of fall daisies. Just kind of having fun with her. She's more of like a decorator, not so much of a fantasy. I've kind of put her on the back burner for a while. And then this guy, this guy, as well as my little red Icelandic mare, I'm kind of at a loss for where I want to take them in terms of finishing them up, but having a lot of fun with these guys. And of course I had to. No year is complete without at least one spotted donkey joining my little show conga, and I just recently completed this little boy, and it's can't remember what it's Papo. That's the brand name. They're kind of like Schleich, but I really like this little guy. I love spotted donkeys. I could, every time I see a donkey, I'm just like make it spotted. um, I actually decided that I was going to call my little studio page that I have up on social media, Spotted Donkey Studios. Because if I could count how many spotted donkeys alone that I've painted, it's a lot. And yeah, anyway, finished this guy. I'm not too happy with the way his dappling turned out. He's kind of also got some little blemishes. And I like the way his base coat came out. I'm really happy with that. Just I did dappling with acrylic paint and sort of dabbed it on, and I don't really like the way it came out. There's a ton of methods for dappling, and I feel like that's one thing I really want to work on, is getting better with dappling. You know, I've seen people use kneaded erasers to kind of, so when they have like pastel, they kind of pull up a little bit of pigment, or like eraser pencils. So he, unfortunately, as much as I like him, he might be stripped and painted again. Then I painted this Pinto mule, or paint mule, Pinto. Um, and yeah, had a lot of fun with her. She is a Peter Stone model, and I love the mule. I think I've actually got one more to paint. But other than that, really not much, going on, except for, the couple whips I have. But I have this medallion to paint. I am not sure who sculpted this guy or girl, because it's just a head. It's 2D. And I'm thinking I'm kind of on the fence if I want to save it or do it this winter. Have to see. Last but not least, I've got, well, I shouldn't say last but not least, I've always got more things going on, but I've got this really cute hippocampus mare and her baby, and the baby is kind of going like this, so let's see if I can hold it. Kind of like that. And she was 3D printed by a friend of mine that I know in the hobby. And I saw these and I was like, yeah, I've got to have them. The only issues that I have with these guys is they're 3D printed, and I really don't like 3D printed resins. I prefer solid cast. So for instance, he is a solid cast, and it's kind of hard to tell. You can't really, but he feels heavier. There's more weight to him. There's more to him. I might need to do some prep on him, but the prep on this guy, don't know if you can see right here, there's a weird little bump. There's also one over here, and the texture, there's some kind of tiny little bumps right in here, which I'm not really a fan. Like I said, I ordered a Przewalski mare and foal. I'll show the mare. She's also 3D printed, and she just doesn't really feel that that durable. In fact, I was painting her foal's tail, and her foal is little. Her foal is like her foal, is like maybe like that big. I'm not going to show him because he's kind of in a state of mess. But the foal's tail, I put down just a little bit of weight and it snapped off. So I am not a fan of 3D printed stuff, although I did get a 3D printed medallion. She is big. She is like at least that big. And honestly, she came out really, really nice. She came out really, really nice, and there's not much prep to be done on her. In fact, maybe very minimal. Could just go ahead and spray primer on her. But I had someone ask me, why doesn't Jordan 3D print you model horses? And for me, the answer is simple, is because they're just not that stable, and they're kind of ugly. Um, so I tend to stay away from 3D printed stuff as much as I can. Um, I will forever appreciate a good solid cast resin, like a good resin that's really, I don't even mind heavy. So for instance, I've got this mule who needs some repairs. Um, and she is heavy. I mean, she's not like super heavy, but she is solid. It's a solid chunk of resin. It's not just 3D printed resin, which is kind of a different variation of plastic, but she's a chunk, and I like that. I like knowing that I have, you know, a good solid chunk in my hand as opposed to a flimsy piece of 3D printed stuff. And then this girl is a goat resin. I got her a few years ago at a swap meet. I believe she's also solid cast. She could be 3D printed, but I don't think that she is. Maybe. It's hard to really tell sometimes, but I'm excited to paint her. I got her because I was like, I really love anything that's, different. But yeah, other than that, haven't really, you know, um, I've been kind of painting, here and there. I've done some watercolors, and yeah, it's been a interesting start to winter, in that we have just had a lot of really dry, hot weather. Like, so for instance, today is at least in the mid 60s. On, what was it, Monday was nearly 80. So it's really surreal. We're not having a white Christmas. And to be honest, today doesn't even feel like Christmas Eve. Um, yeah, I think it's supposed to keep being pretty warm up until, I think we're supposed to get some form of moisture in the next few days. I don't think it's really going to be, they say snow, but I don't know if it's actually going to, make it to snow. But anyway, hope everyone's doing well. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys again in the new year.